Hello and welcome to another episode of Canary Knits. I'm your host, Antoinette. I've been knitting and crocheting for about 20 years or so, and I have my own little business called Canary Knits. Today we're going to do a pattern roundup. Now, all of these patterns I have personally tested or at least gone through the video and made sure that they were legit. A lot of these things that I made for my Valentine's Day market, I didn't really use a pattern, or if I did some things a little bit differently. So I'm going to be showing you the patterns, showing you what I made, and then all of the patterns will be linked in the description. Thank you so much to all of the creators. Thanks for watching Canary Knits. If you can, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're one of the creators of the patterns and you don't want your pattern included, that's okay. Just message me and I'll take it off. I totally understand that. So I had the opportunity to do a Galentine's Day market at a Galerie Saison, which is really cool. I found this event on TikTok through the KC Girlies. The user is Angie, only if my dog can join us, which I think is like the best username ever. And she hosted this event for the gals. And we did like junk journaling, crafting, there were different tables set up, there were 10 vendors, music, there were drinks. It was just like a fabulous time. At the end of this video, I will have like chapters so that you can navigate. And at the end of this video, I will have some like footage from the market. I was running a little late because I have single mom problems 365, 24/7. So I didn't catch like all of the event, and I probably missed out on some sales because of that, but I did get a little bit of footage. So if you want to like zoom ahead, feel free to use the chapters. Okay, let's get going. I feel like I should say that I only had 4 weeks to prep for this event. So I wasn't exactly like well stocked. My last market was in December, a Christmas market, and I have been out of the market game for like 20 years. So I'm just now getting back into it. Back in my day, market prep videos weren't really a thing. And so now I'm so happy to have all of these wonderful patterns available from these different creators to like stock up my market. So the first little cutie that I made is a classic, and I made several different octopus. I just have a couple of my favorites that didn't sell, so I'll show you. This one's angry. Oh, it's so mad. This one is like a cute, happy little Galentine's Day one. And this little guy is pretty serious about school. I don't know, but the octopus are pretty classic, pretty easy to figure out, but I did include a pattern. This pattern is by Chantel Crochets. It's just called the octopus. Again, linked below. I didn't use this specific pattern, but I did go through the video and make the octopus that she showed to make sure that the pattern is legit, because sometimes when you're looking for market prep, you'll find videos and like, I don't know, maybe just the crochet style doesn't match up very well, or you just end up getting something odd at the end, and you check the comments and a lot of people are like, I got something a little weird. So these are all tried and tested. I think the octopus is really cute. People really seem to like them. Kids seem to like them. I sell them anywhere from like $7 to $15, and I like to experiment with the different yarn that I use to make them and the different eyes. You can get a lot of different safety eyes, googly eyes. You could sew your own eyes. You can look on Etsy for amigurumi eyes. So there's a lot of different ways and options that you can make this cuter. Something I thought would be really, really cute that I didn't get around to doing this time was putting little hearts on the back of the octopus, just with a little heart motif graph. And also putting little bows on the octopus would be so cute. So ideas for next year. The next project that I prepped for this market would be the famous Leggy Frog amigurumi by Anita Louise Crochet. And I see this leggy frog everywhere. My daughter has taken this one and decorated it, which I think is super adorable. But this is just the basic leggy frog. So cute, so classic. again, Anita Louise crochets, and make you some leggy frog, because these also sell very well. They're super cute. They're one of my favorites, and they're really easy to make. So definitely check out the leggy frog if you're doing market prep. Like I said, I like to experiment with the kind of yarn that I use for these and like the colors. I made purple and pink ones before, and all different sorts of colors. So it's just kind of fun to play around. The next thing that I prepped for this market, and I wore one of these on the day of the show, and I was so nervous because I thought they would sell out. I was like, I can't believe I'm taking one of these things because it's gonna sell out and I'm not gonna have enough. No, nobody bought one, but I'm still extremely proud. So I made bows, and the bow tutorial I used was Artsy Mackie crochet, and I sewed hardware on the back of the bow, and I think it gives you this like really classic, almost like Victorian bow. And I just sewed the barrette. I'll show you. I sewed the barrette part in the back of it. But it gives you like this really classic bow. This is how I used to do my bows. I used to just crochet a rectangle and then crochet a little square and put it around it. But I like this style of bow so much better. Like, it's really, really cute. This is the black one. There's like an option to add a different band around it so that you have a different band. And I really like the way they lay. I think they're so practical, cute, feminine, girly. I just really like the bow. I'll be making more of those and definitely wearing them. And I gave them to my roommate to wear too because they really are that cute. The next item that I made, and these are not in any particular order because like I said, I was late to the event and my things are all kind of a mess. But the next thing I made basically is the Pearl Soho Classic Ribbed Beanie. This is my favorite way to make hats. I do knit one, purl one, rib for a long time, and then just start on the decreases. This is that same hat in different yarn. But this is my favorite way to make my hats. So it is a bit time consuming, I'm not gonna lie, because it's knit one, purl one, rib. The pattern that I use is just one that I made on my own, but the Pearl Soho Classic Ribbed Beanie is very, very close, and it'll give you that like classic shape. Those will take a long time to make. So if you're doing market prep, just trying to get things out quickly, I would maybe skip those, but they do sell. I love making them. I think it makes a classic, very nice beanie, and kind of my bread and butter is beanies. The next thing I made for the market, I didn't actually end up displaying at the market because I forgot my clothing rack. So we're growing, we're working on things, right? I didn't, just the morning of, I was so rushed and I didn't bring my clothing rack, so I didn't display any of my wearables. But I did make some crochet mesh sleeves, and I've been making a lot of these and having a really good time with them. This is just like a large, extra large. I found a really good tutorial for how to make crochet mesh sleeves by Hannah Jerpinski, and I really like, she just really breaks it down really easily. I don't use the pattern, but I did watch her whole video and I think it's a really good pattern, so if you're a beginner, definitely check that out. The next wearable that I made that I didn't get to display is such a classic. It's B Jax's spiderweb top. And if you know B Jax, she's amazing creator. She's on YouTube and TikTok and probably Instagram. I don't know, I'm not on there a lot. But she made the viral like wedding gown crochet Lilith gown that you see everywhere, and her spiderweb top is super cute. I had this vision of having like different options of the spiderweb top, but I ran out of yarn and I ran out of time, and I didn't bring my, like I said, I didn't bring my clothing rack. So this will be shown in another time, but how sweet to make your own lingerie, like make different sizes for your friends, for the gals, or whoever wants to wear it. Like, how fun. The next thing I made were several different heart baskets, and I think If you're making things for Valentine's Day, you should definitely know how to make a heart. Adore Kriya Crochet has an easy heart tutorial that is very detailed, perfect for beginners. And I would start there if you're just now figuring out how to make hearts. The heart baskets that I made, I found out how to make the heart and basket shape through a tutorial on YouTube. This person is called Ant with a heart emoji next to their name. And I made all sorts of cute baskets to put my little keychains in. Little heart baskets, yay! The next thing that I made for the market would be like a version of the String of Heart plant by Vibrant Knots, String of Heart plants tutorial. And I basically just used the tutorial to figure out how to make the leaves to look like hearts. And I really like how this ended up. It's super cute. Did not sell, but I'm going to hang this in my apartment and call it good, and probably make several more because I think they're really cute. This is one of those items that I just kind of ran out of time on. I also didn't have them displayed hanging. I think a really good idea is to display them hanging at your booth so that people can see what they actually look like. And of course, who doesn't want a plant that you can't actually kill, right? Wonderful. The next little buddy that I made a bunch of whales. They're really cute. Just little amigurumi. Just thinking if anyone wanted something cute and little. The whale tutorial that I used is by Club Crochet. It's called How to Make a Whale, Crochet Whales. And it's really cute. This is another one of those patterns that you can experiment on yarn weight, on safety eyes, if you want to make your own safety eyes. There's just a lot you can do with it. I made them in pink and blue and made them couples, and they were really cute. And sold these anywhere from $9 to $12. You know, any good market has to have its tower o' scrunchie. So I had my scrunchie tower. I actually have 2 scrunchie towers because I like options. And the tutorial that I would recommend that you follow along with if you haven't made scrunchies before is Passionate Kelsey's. And again, scrunchies are so fun. They take about 10-15 minutes maybe. You can experiment with different yarn, velvet yarn, boucle, just anything. I even have a couple that I've just made from regular old acrylic, and people seem to like them. I really like the crocheted scrunchies. They're really good for your hair, and they're really soft on your scalp. Like if you've never worn a crochet scrunchie before, I highly recommend it because they're just a really good product. Like once you go crochet scrunchie, you can't go back. The next little buddy I made, I only made a couple, is this mini frog keychain from Crochet Treasure. Super cute. I only made a couple because I ran out of time. But this is that little buddy. Yay! So cute. I really like the way that it turned out, but I only made a couple. The next thing that I made is probably my best seller from the event, and they're just simply strawberries. There is a tutorial by Viv Crochets. I did not use a tutorial to make my strawberries. I kind of just freehanded them. But one thing that I did to make them all different, because fruits are all different, right? Like people, I added some random increases and decreases so that all the strawberries were kind of different. And also the seeds are really random, but I think that was a really cute touch. I made some purse charms for them as well. Oh, and you can hang these from your rear view mirror as well. Different options, different hardware, different variety, and I'm a big fan of those. Another thing that I made, I didn't make very many, but I made ducks, and this is a pattern from Little Things Crochet. It's the chicken keychain tutorial, and I think it ended up super cute. I like how it looks. I just didn't get a chance to make very many because I was running out of time. I did also make a family of chickens, a baby chicken. This is the baby chicken. It's the only one left. But I use the chicken loaf pattern by Maddie Marie on YouTube. And this baby I just like freehanded, like, oh, what would the baby look like? But the 2 adult chickens sold. Now, there are a couple of things I wanted to make that I didn't get to. Thing 1 is the Love Bug pattern by Purely Works. It's a Valentine crochet spider with like a little heart amigurumi on its butt. And I did not get a chance to make this. I tried and it ended up terribly. So I think that's a pattern that I will incorporate next year. The Love Bug is a pattern that I will be incorporating into next year's. If I do a Valentine's Day show, I don't know yet. And then the final pattern that I think is really cute for Valentine's Day market prep that I didn't get a chance to make is the Loaf Cap pattern by Relaxed Time Crochet. This is a classic. It's everywhere. It's really cute. There are certainly different versions, but I like this version of it. I didn't get a chance to make them because I didn't have any yarn that I really felt went well with the cats. And I didn't like the ones I did made. I had like a calico yarn and I just didn't like the way it turned out. I hope you got some good ideas from this video. I hope you know some things you're going to try out for your friends or whatever, lovers, whatever. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I'm not done. Here's footage from the art market. As I've said before, I was feeling extremely nervous, but I was really glad to have my booth buddy with me. I forgot to mention that I made my dress. I'm wearing the Granny's on Fire dress by Nautical Nadia. I think a good tip for booths is to bring your crafts with you. I think people like to see you working on things, and it's also just so relaxing. Self-care time, self-care time, self-care time is so important, especially for me after an event. And honestly, I process this event for like the rest of the week. As I've mentioned before, I'm a lifelong journaler. This is volume 63. I finished it this week, and I think I'm going to use some space in these vlogs to talk about my journaling, but I will add chapters, so feel free to skip. Things that worked, the strawberries. Things that didn't work, the bows. Things that didn't get a chance to work, any of my wearables. Things I'd like to make more of, the plants. Things I'd like to make less of, anything amigurumi. Things I'd like to expand on, the scrunchies. Things to remember for next time, I need to make better arrangements for childcare and probably take the whole morning just to relax before because I get so nervous. Overall, I am really happy that I did this event. I met some really cool people, and it definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone, but I felt so rattled after it. It really did take about the whole week to recover. I feel like I've been hit by a craft train. I just dropped my girls off at school, and now I'm getting coffee, and I need to clean my house, and I'm going to clean up like after both of my shows that I haven't really cleaned up after. It's all my fault that I'm so overwhelmed, and I know this, but yeah. I still feel like I got hit by a train, but I'm feeling a little bit better. I slept in this morning, and it's about 10. It's pretty unusual for me to sleep in like that. And I'm feeling so excited because I have creative freedom again to make whatever I want. Oops, you fell down. You fell down. Oh. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay. Ah. Yes. I have creative freedom again. I have creative freedom again to make what I want, and there are so many things I want to make. I want to make some t-shirt ponchos. I want to make some cardigans. I want to make some blankets. The 6-day star blanket that's a fail for it. Knocking at my door for a while. I want to do some stash busting. I have some t-shirt yarn left over that I want to make some bowls with. I'm really into that now, like putting everything in its own separate little container and having that container be crocheted, I think is adorable. So just like making some more stuff for my home. And I'm really excited about it. It feels really good to be done with that show. It was a hard one for me, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the event was fantastic, but it just the timing of everything was really stressful for me, and I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's over. But it was great. It was great. It was great. But I'm glad it's over.